Meet sailing yacht Avanti and her crew, Gerard and Jacqueline. We left Cape Town in December 2021 on our floating home, heading west on an adventure of a lifetime around the world.
In the last episode, we successfully took Avanti out of the water and onto the hard. This episode, we get down and dirty with some unexpected surprises. Although labour is more affordable here in South Africa, we still prefer to do most of the work ourselves. We're about to start the big sanding job, so just sanding down the bottom in preparation for putting some new anti-foul on. We previously used a two-component anti-foul called C-Jet when we anti-fouled in Panama. We were really impressed with the minimal amount of growth we've had over the last year and a half. We were, however, surprised with the amount of paint that came off when we did the high pressure clean.
Yesterday I hand sanded the areas that I couldn't get into with the electric sander. We cleaned up the prop, almost done with that, and I started fairing the waterline. Today I need to sand the fairing on the waterline and I need to patch a few spots on the rudder with some fiberglass. Putting some blue Loctite on all the bolts and screws for the prop so that it doesn't fall off. This you can use if you're doing it outside of the water because it cures. If you're doing it underwater, you need a special type. I've removed the prop and serviced it, and this time around we're going to paint it. So we bought some propeller primer and propeller, or we're going to put Trilux on top of that. The reason for it is the boat's going to sit in Richarsdsbay for a few months and the prop normally fouls up quite badly, and paint will last because the prop is not spinning at a high speed, so hopefully it works and keeps the fouling to a minimum.
We're back on hard life, and hard life is always interesting. Not having plumbing or running water to do dishes makes it difficult. And then we've got the dust spells and the monkeys here in Richarsdsbay, but the absolute worst part is our neighbour who's got a pee bucket that just stenches. Oh, don't understand. Get rid of your pee, man. Gerard had enough. We have a rain delay for the next 2 days, so that means I'll just be sitting and editing while Gerard gets to do the seacocks. The wind and the rain has finally disappeared, and it's time to finish our anti-foul paint. Gerard has some things he needs to do this morning, so it's up to me to get the job started. We had some torrential rain which brought a lot of mud spray from the bottom up, but also the deck is dirty with dust that's just been blowing around, as well as coal that's in the air because this is a big coal port. and so now I'm just giving it a good wipe before we start to prep with lining and painting. Yes, the paint looks a little bit dodgy, but let me explain. In Panama we painted a silver primer. On top we did first layer in blue and then the second and third layer in black. So that's why you see some blue spots in between. It means we haven't even gone down to our first layer. Well, the first layer we painted in Panama. And that's why we're just spot priming, sanding, and then putting black on top. It does mean it won't have that smooth finish we had when we painted in Panama, because we won't be sanding down all the paint, but it does mean that Avanti is really well taken care of in the time she has to wait before we sail down to Cape Town.
It's time to taste the South African beer that I don't drink often, or I didn't used to drink this often. But yeah, we're still busy on the hard, and life on the hard is quite hard, so it's definitely time for a beer. This is a Hansa. It's a Pilsner. I normally drink lagers in South Africa, but I thought it was time to try something new. So it's a 500 ml can with 4.2% alcohol, and in the shop this is probably about 15 or 16 rand if you buy a case of them. So yeah, I don't have a glass today. It's going to be from the can, so let's see how this one tastes. It's actually a very crispy and quite a bitter Pilsner, as a Pilsner should be. So yeah, I quite like the taste, and I think I might have these on a regular occasion now that we're back. So in terms of a rating, I would rate this Hansa Pilsner, in terms of the size, I like the can as well, and the cost and the taste, a 8 out of 10. Cheers.
So excited to get back in the water today. It's only a couple of hours, then we'll be back in the water and we'll have plumbing and water and just everything good again.
So the guys are just preparing to put the boat back into the slings and lift it for us and remove the supporting posts so that we can paint the last few patches and below the keel. So it will hang overnight, let the paint dry, and then tomorrow afternoon we will launch. So we've launched from the hard and everything seemed to be fine, no seacock leaks, so that's a good one. But when we got to the mooring, I just revved the engine a little so that it runs at higher revs, and yeah, the seawater from the exhaust stopped flowing. So I've started opening up. It looks like when you rev it, the strainer gets emptier, so I suspect the inlet, there's something in the inlet that's blocked. But it's weird because we have two inlets, one from a normal seacock and one from the sail drive. So yeah, I've opened it up and let's see if we can find something in there. There's definitely something in here.
The club. Is it a rock?
So it's
Shells. A mussel.
barnacles.
Barnacles.
So this must have come loose somewhere.
Oh my word. Look how much barnacles is coming out.
It seems like we've got everything out. The barnacles that grew in the sail drive actually blocked the pipes, and they were too big to go into the strainer nozzle. So the strainer is supposed to catch the stuff, but they were stuck in the strainer inlet pipe. So yeah, they're all out hopefully, and we will have cooling water again.
Back to normal, baby. Thank you for joining us this episode. Join us next time as we lock up Avanti and get our bums down to Cape Town. Please leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed this video. See you next time.